welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be doing another story time video, and I was thinking for the longest and hardest, like, what type of video should I do? And I thought to myself, I never did tell y'all about my spring break trip to Orlando, Florida. Believe it or not, I did have my camera with me, and I was supposed to record the whole week. That probably would have been it's supposed to be the livest video that I've ever done, because y'all know I don't go anywhere like that. I'm always in my room and stuff. But the week was so horrible, not so horrible, it was kind of horrible to the point that I couldn't even bring my camera out. So let me just tell y'all the little base before I get to the whole plot of the story. So basically, me and Erica tried to decide where we were going to go for spring break, and I was looking on Expedia trying to find the best deal. So I decided, I either want to go to Florida because I've never been, I either want to go to Las Vegas or New Orleans, and all of those trips were under $600. And I'm just like, this is good, and this is including round trip flight and hotel for a week. I'm just like, ooh. So Erica was 20 at the time. Well, she was 20 at the time, so obviously she couldn't go to places like Vegas or New Orleans to really enjoy herself. So we decided on Florida, and I looked up places all over, and finally Orlando was the destination. And I know y'all are like, Orlando's not really the spring break destination. Just in case y'all don't know this, I am not a huge like club goer or anything like that. I am a small gathering type of girl, if that makes any sense. Like, if there was a party going on in here, that'd be cool. That's my type of scene. So obviously Orlando, I know I wasn't going to be walking down the street and see cheeks clapping or anything like that, but it was just what I needed. I had a nice hotel, I had a pool, I had the heat, the hot weather that I desired, and I was in Florida. So that's exactly why I picked Orlando. So basically, I decided to fly out of Charlotte because that was the cheapest location to fly out from Lynchburg, because Lynchburg was such a small airport that I believe it was like $300 to $500 more. So I'm like, hell, I would put $20 in my tank and go up to Charlotte. Whew, Lord. Okay, so during that week I was also involved in a car accident, so that my whole week was already blown. But basically, I got to Charlotte, did what I had to do, and my flight wasn't until about 7 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 7 o'clock. But my friends that took me to the airport dropped me off around 3:15, 3:30. And when I got there, Erica called me and was like, hey, is there any way that you can put me on the hotel reservation? Well, when I booked the flight and the hotel together, she basically decided that she was going to give me half of the money for the hotel, and she was going to drive down with somebody from school and just meet me there. And I'm like, all right, cool. So when I got to the airport, I told her, yeah, I'm going to call Expedia to put you on the reservation. Mind y'all, I had already been talking to Expedia before that because I had a layover in DC. So basically, I would fly from Charlotte to DC. And during this time, which is March, early March, it was still snowing. And y'all know it was bad weather up north. So I called them and stayed on the line with them. First of all, it took them about 3 hours to answer the phone. But I called them basically to find out if there was any way that I could just fly straight out of Charlotte, or I could have a layover somewhere down south, because I didn't want to go up north and then be stuck up north. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be the worst thing ever. So the lady was just like, no, we can't do that. You're not going to get stuck. I said, are you Mother Nature? Like, how do you know where I'm going to be stuck at? Like, I just told her, I'm not even going to lie, I kind of threatened the lady, and I said, just know that if I get stuck up in DC, I'm coming to find you. Y'all, come on, cut me some slack. I was on the line with them for 3 hours before they answered. But anyways, I got to the airport, I called them, and from, let's say, 3:45 to about 6:15, I was on hold for them. So I finally got a representative, and he answered, and I told him, I'm meeting my friend down there. My friend is coming to see me. I'm obviously not from Florida. She's coming to see me, and she has her daughter. So is there any way that I can add her name to the reservation? She gets the keys, and then they can wait for me in the hotel until I come. Had to spice up the story a little bit. And the guy was like, yeah, of course, sure. So I added her name, and everything was cool. Got off the phone. I had literally like 5 seconds to breathe before I got on my flight. Turned my phone on, everything was cool. Got to DC around 8 o'clock, and I had so many texts and, I couldn't see missed calls, but like voicemails from Erica. So I called her, and she was like, Drea, I went to the hotel. They told me there's no reservation under your name or my name, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, what? And she was like, the people that I'm with obviously don't want to be bothered with me for so long, but I have nowhere else to go. So basically, as soon as I got to DC, I called Expedia, and I was on hold, and my flight from DC to Orlando left. It was supposed to leave at 8 o'clock. So they didn't answer the phone, so I had no choice but to go book another hotel under her name. That way there'll be no complications, that she can just go straight in to the hotel and not worry about not worry about anything. So when I got on the plane to Orlando, I got some Wi-Fi for like 15 minutes, because y'all know y'all can buy Wi-Fi for 15 or an hour, however long you need it for now. So I booked the hotel, got it under her name and everything, and I gave her confirmation, let her know what was going to happen. So I just let her know, like, go ahead to the hotel, I'll meet you there. Whatchamacallit, what was I gonna say? I'll meet you there, and my Wi-Fi is going off, so I'll see you. All right, cool. I get to Orlando, and she's just like, I went to that hotel, and they told me that they were completely booked. Expedia made a mistake. And I'm just like, are you serious? At this point, it's 12 o'clock. So when I get to the airport, Erica's just like, oh, my godmother's best friend works at the airport. He will give you a ride. And I'm just like, give me a ride where? We ain't got nowhere to stay. Like, where is he giving me a ride to? And I said, first of all, I need to get back on the phone with Expedia. They have to find somewhere else for us to go, because I think it was like $180 I had put towards this new hotel. So before I left the nice airport, I needed to find somewhere to go. So I was basically on the line with another Expedia person from 12 something to about 3 a.m. So obviously Erica was getting upset. She didn't have anywhere to go, and on top of that, she wasn't understanding why I wouldn't take the ride from her godmother's friend. But y'all get what I'm saying, right? So finally I got a hotel at the Embassy Suites. The guy booked it. Everything was good. So I found a cab. So mind y'all, I had money on my card, and then I had like about $50 to $60 in cash just for taxis. I did not know about Uber back then, and I'm pissed every time I think about it. But I went outside, and I'm just like trying to find a cab, and I'm like, I'm trying to go to yada yada yada. And this part of Orlando was probably like 30 minutes away from the airport. And I was like, but I only have $35. So it's like a group of people. I don't want to say their nationality for anybody who gets offended, but it was a group of these particular people, and everybody looking at me like, $35? What am I supposed to do with that? It's just like, they weren't going to get their cut, but I'm like, I only got $35, son. Somebody. So finally this guy agreed, and he's like, okay, I'll take you. So I got to the hotel around 3:45, 4 o'clock a.m. And that was my first time at an embassy, and I'm just like, this place is amazing balls. I wish I could stay here. It was absolutely positively beautiful. Perfect definition of where I want to stay. So if y'all have never stayed at an embassy, I highly recommend it, and it's worth the price. And 100%. So we got to the hotel, and I'm just like, whew, I can finally get some sleep. I explained to her why I didn't take the ride, and obviously sometimes when you have conversations through text, it doesn't work, but she understood what I was saying by the time I told her. The next morning, I woke up around 7 a.m. to make sure I caught that good old breakfast, and then also to get on the phone with Expedia, because our checkout was around 1 o'clock, to make sure to figure out about this whole hotel situation, because we were only booked in that hotel for a night. So I got on the phone with Expedia, and basically trying to tell them that they said there's no reservation. And one lady's just like, oh, you're not supposed to add nobody else to the reservation, that hikes up your price. And I was just like, hello, I never said the person was staying with me. I kept explaining myself. Nobody wants to listen. I even got to the point where I had to speak to somebody in corporate. And I was just like, first of all, somebody needs to give me back my $165 or $180, however much I spent for the embassy, because, or the other hotel, because hello, I didn't get to stay there. And I think at that point, at 3 o'clock in the morning, when I was homeless, that they owed me nothing but a free hotel. So basically, the lady was like, I don't see anything under your name for embassy. And I was like, well, you can call the embassy here. They know that I'm a guest here. And then they had to go through this whole process. I was on the phone with them from 8 a.m. to about 12 something. So basically, the lady from corporate told me to go to the hotel and go get go there and figure it out. So we took another taxi to another part of Orlando. And this one is closer to like the of Orlando. We got there. This lady's like, there is no reservation under your name. So I'm like, oh my God, I got to get back on the phone with Expedia. So then something just told me to ask, is there another another hotel of this name? She was like, oh yeah, it's on this side, on the other side of Orlando. I'm just like, bruh, if I pay for another cab again. So mind you, if you're calculating, I probably spent over $70 in cab fee. So we had to go back to the other side of Orlando and spend another 30 something dollars and go to the other hotel. We get there, finally, we find a reservation under my name. We get into the hotel room. The room is it's disgusting. It's to the point that you don't even want to sit down anywhere because you're not sure what might crawl onto your body. So I'm just like, so let me just input something here right now. When y'all book a hotel, make sure you check things. I am that person that's just so quick to do something or just looks at the price and be like, oh, that's great, I'm buying it. I've learned so much from that day to never just pick anything cheap because it's cheap. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather spend $200 on somewhere where I know it's clean and yada 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 than to spend $5 on something just because it's $5. Y'all, the place was disgusting. We tried to stay there and we couldn't. So we went downstairs trying to see if there was a way we could get a refund. The guy said talk to Expedia. Called Expedia. They're like, if the guy say no, we say no too. And I'm like, all right, you know what, Erica, let's just book a hotel for 2 nights. That way we don't have to worry about packing up our crap right away and try to enjoy this spring break. So we decided to go back to the embassy and I think we spent about $200 each for a hotel. Mind y'all, every last cent that I've had for like spending on things, eating, things along those lines are going because I'm spending it on cabs and freaking hotels. So the next 2 days that we spent at the embassy was great. You know, we didn't have to worry about anything until it was time to go again. And then once again, we're homeless. Where are we going? And during those 2 days, we didn't do anything either. One of our friends that also went to school with us happened to live down there. So she took us to the mall one day. But other than that, we didn't really do anything. So finally, Erica's like, F it, we're going to Fort Lauderdale where my aunt lives. At this point, we had been on the street from, I think we got out at the hotel 1 o'clock. We didn't decide that we were going to Fort Lauderdale until like 3. So we had been sitting outside of the hotel trying to figure out our plans. And I was just like, okay, instead of us getting up and going to Fort Lauderdale, how about we try to find a reasonably priced hotel and go stay there? So at first we picked one hotel which was supposed to be like a resort type hotel, but I didn't know you had to pay for the resort part. We get there, they're hot, they're booked up. At that point we knew about Uber, but that was about a $10 trip. So then we got in another Uber to go to the other side of Orlando. That was about $10-15 only because it was traffic, and we got there, they're booked up. So then finally we found this hotel called the Rosen Inn. Here we thought it was only 2 blocks, so we decided let's just walk. We walked 12 blocks before we found a taxi that would take us to the other 5 blocks for about $7. We got to the Rosen Hotel. We chilled for that night, and then we went out. We went to Senora Frogs. We had a good time. It was a good night in Orlando, and yeah. The next morning, we got up and we got on the bus to Fort Lauderdale. And at this point, y'all, this had to be Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was Thursday. I'm broke. I don't have any more money. The $500 to $600 that I had put aside for this trip had went to hotel after hotel, freaking taxis, freaking Uber. I'm running low. Luckily, my family was like sending me snippets here, but I was still like, it was still to the point that I didn't know what to do. So finally, we got to Fort Lauderdale. We're with her cousin, and we go to Miami a couple of nights, and it's actually fun. It's actually the spring break that I wanted. Like, we're going to Fat Tuesdays, doing all that stuff. But it was a pretty good trip at the end. But during the time until like that Thursday, it was complete and utter hell. Hell. I don't think y'all understand not knowing where to go, and you're in a strange place, you're running out of money. It was just ridiculous. So I highly recommend that if y'all are going to be taking trips, to do all the research you can, because I promised myself after that I would never take another vacation. But yeah, y'all, and I highly recommend that y'all go to Miami. It is a little bit expensive, but if you start planning early, like now, still now it might be a little bit expensive, but if you start planning early, you'll get reasonably priced things. And it was just great to experience like the sugar factory. Her cousin's friend actually knew people that worked there, so we got some free drinks, like the big drinks and free shots. It was pretty cool. But yeah, that was my spring break from hell, and I promise y'all I will never have another hell vacation ever again in my life. But anyways, don't forget to like, comment, and to subscribe, and I hope y'all have a great day.